Well, I thought, I waited till I was 40 to start college. I don't want to be here till I'm 50. It was something I wanted to do for a really long time. I made a choice to get married and have my family really young, and realized quickly that going to school was going to be a big challenge for me. So when my daughter left for college, I started college. I went full-time, year-round. Summer I took 12 to 15 hours during the normal semesters, and I worked full-time. Part of the time I worked 2 jobs. That was probably my biggest thing, was just finding the time, because you still have family obligations, and you can't forget those. Decided at first there was a little bit of resistance. I wasn't home to cook dinner, and I wasn't home to, just to be there. But now that they're seeing how quickly it got over with and the money that I'm about to start making, they're much more excited about it. We get to do a lot of things now that we couldn't have done had I not gone on and got my degree. Oh my gosh, adult student advocacy absolutely saved my life the first day of school. I took, I believe it was 15 hours my first semester. I went on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, went to my first 2 or 3 classes. Everything was fine. I went to a speech class, and they had us all stand up and say a little something about ourselves. And some little boy sitting behind me was 17 years old. I wanted to absolutely die. I thought, oh my gosh, my daughter is older than he is. So get out of that class, and it was time for lunch. Well, I'd planned my day so packed that I forgot to think about what am I going to do at lunch. I didn't have anybody to sit with. I walked into the cafeteria, and it was kids everywhere. I know they weren't all kids, but just that's what I saw, was 17-year-old little boys sitting behind me. So I walked by the adult student advocacy table probably 4 or 5 times, and I finally said, if I'm going to have a chance to eat today, I'm going to have to find someone to sit with. And I stopped and I talked to the girls that were sitting there. And those same girls, there were 6 of us that were in that little group. We're still really good friends today, and they really, really helped me to get through that first day. Like I said, we had somebody to eat lunch with, and then it turned out in the afternoon we had classes together, so it made the first day a lot easier. We're still friends, every one of us. I text and email almost daily with all of them. I think there's a lot more adults here than I saw that first day. It's one of those things where you're really frightened, and that one thing that you're afraid of stands out. But now when I walk through the cafeteria, or anywhere on the campus for that matter, I don't see them as being children anymore. I see them more as my peers. And there's a lot of them that are 17, 18, 19, 20 that I've become friends with, as well as the ones who are much older. Let's go with that. My daughter goes to school here, and a lot of her friends have adopted me as their on-campus mom. They don't think twice about coming to me and asking me questions, and they treat me like I'm one of them as well. So the age doesn't seem quite such a disparity these days to do that. When they're like, well, back in 1982, and I'm like, dude, you read that. I lived that. Yeah, they don't, yeah. And they listen to you, because there's nothing like the visual aspect of it. I was a heart patient. I had open heart surgery when I was 7, and that was what I wanted to do from the time I was a little bitty kid. And of course, you get sidetracked, you make other decisions. Like I said, you get married, you have your family. So I finally was able to go back and get the degree that I wanted to, and am going to work in a department where I'm going to be able to relate not only to the children, but to the parents, because I've lived through this and I survived it. And I mean, truly survived it, not just got through it. I chose it because of the convenience, and I wanted to go to a real college. I know that there are other higher education facilities in the area, but I wanted to go to a traditional college. I'm not knocking any of the others by any means, but this was right for me to come to one that offered as much as it did. It's a community here. There's so much to do, so many things that I didn't know there was to do until I got here, and it just kind of became home. It's kind of hard to leave now. Started crying, and she says, "You think today's bad? Wait till graduation." And oh my gosh, it was horrible. I'll start again just thinking about it. It was huge. That was huge.
And your family was there too?
Mm-hmm. My daughter was there, everybody. We had probably 20 people at graduation. That was great. Can't believe this. Thinking about graduation is getting me all excited again. It was a huge deal. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's weird. I can't imagine having gone through a graduation without my daughter there. Of course, I know lots and lots of people do it before they have kids, but I just can't imagine. Yeah, if you're going to do it, it's a commitment. There's no playing around with it, especially as an adult. You come at it with a completely different mindset. Some of my friends have said they don't think that they could go back and do it, and I've explained to them, you think about it differently. You're thinking, I'm paying for this, and if this doesn't work out, you don't have a plan B. Not saying everybody does, but when you're 21, 22 years old, you have a second chance. You can go back later after you've matured. But when you get to be an adult and you go, that is your second chance, and you just approach it a different way. It's really kind of hard to describe, but you're more focused, you pay more attention, you take better notes, you interact with your instructors on a different level. It's just way different. I anticipate starting to work pretty much any day now in the NICU at UAMS. Eventually I want to become a nurse practitioner and work in pediatric cardiology. I'd eventually hope to be at Children's, but wherever I'm going to be able to have the best opportunities to take care of the kids that have that type of condition. That's where I need to be. I've never wavered. From the day I started, I always said, I'm going pediatric cardiology. Never changed. Since I was 7. It's just the way it's going to have to be.